Mahomet Tragedie by Voltare. Scene 2. Zoper and Palmyra. Zoper says, "Hail, lovely maid, the chance of cruel war hath made thee Zoper's captive, but thou art not. Amongst barbarians, all with me revere Palmyra's virtues, and lament her fate, whilst youth with innocence and beauty plead thy cause. Whatever thou askest in Zoper's power, thou shalt not ask in vain. My life declines towards its period, and if my last hours can give Palmyra joy, I shall esteem them the best, the happiest I have ever known." Palmyra responds, "These 2 months past, my lord, your prisoner here, scarce have I felt the yoke of slavery. Your generous hand, still raised to soothe affliction, hath wiped the tears of sorrow from my eyes, and softened all the rigor of my fate. Forgive me if, emboldened by your goodness, I ask for more, and center every hope of future happiness on you alone. Forgive me if, to Mahomet's request, I join Palmyra's and implore that freedom he hath already asked. I listen to him, and let me say that after heaven and him, I am indebted most to generous Zoper." Zoper responds, "Has then oppression such enticing charms, that thou shouldest wish and beg to be the slave of Mahomet, to hear the clash of arms, with him to live in deserts and in caves, and shall wander o'er his ever-shifting country?" Palmyra says, "Wherever the mind with ease and pleasure dwells, there is our home, and there our native country. He formed my soul to Mahomet I owe, the kind instruction of my earlier years taught by the happy partners of his bed, who still adoring and adored by him, sent up their prayers to heaven for his dear safety. I lived in peace and joy, for ne'er did woe pollute that seat of bliss, till the sad hour of my misfortune, when wide-wasting war rushed in upon us and enslaved Palmyra. Pity, my lord, a heart oppressed with grief, that sighs for objects far, far distant from her." Zoper says, "I understand you, madame. You expect the tyrant's hand, and hope to share his throne." Palmyra says, "I honor him, my lord, and trembling soul looks up to Mahomet with holy fear, as to a god, but never did this heart e'er cherish the vain hope that he would deign to wed Palmyra. No such splendor ill would suit my humble state." Zoper says, "Whoever thou art, he was not born, I trust, to be thy husband. No, nor thy master. Much I err, or thou springest from a race designed by heaven to check this haughty Arab, and give laws to him who thus assumes the majesty of kings." Palmyra said, "Alas, we know not what it is to boast of birth or fortune from our infant years, without our parents, friends, our country doomed, the slavery here resigned to our hard fate. Strangers to all, but to that God we serve, we live content in humble poverty." Zoper says, "And can ye be content? And are ye strangers, without a father and without a home? I am a childless, poor, forlorn old man. You might have been the comfort of my age, to form a plan of future happiness, for you had softened my own wretchedness, and made me some amends for all my wrongs. But you abhor my country and my law." Palmyra says, "I am not mistress of myself, and how can I be thine? I pity thy misfortunes, and bless thee for thy goodness to Palmyra. But Mahomet has been a father to me. Zoper says, a father? Ye just gods, the vile impostor. Palmyra says, can he deserve that name, the holy prophet, the great ambassador of heaven, sent down to interpret its high will? Zoper says, deluded mortals, how blind are ye to follow this proud madman, this happy robber, whom my justice spared, and raise him from the scaffold to a throne. Palmyra responds, my lord, I shudder at your imprecations, though I am bound by honor and the ties of gratitude to love thee for thy bounties. This blasphemy against my kind protector cancels the bond and fills my soul with horror. O superstition, how thy savage power deprives at once the best and tenderest hearts of their humanity. Zoper says, alas, Palmyra, spite of myself, I feel for thy misfortunes, pity thy weakness, and lament thy fate. Palmyra says, you will not grant me then. Zoper says, I cannot yield thee to him who has deceived thy easy heart. To a base tyrant, no, thou art a treasure, too precious to be parted with, and makest this hypocrite but more detested. Well, as far as Islamic law was established, people had more freedom and lower taxes. This modern sense, oh well, the protection tax is like, well, that's lower than the modern rates of tax in whatever country. And the taxes, again, it's a protection tax. It's not to make these politicians rich. In fact, in the Islamic world, at least, I mean, not the Muslim majority world necessarily, but the Islamic world, it's not permissible for the politicians to take either the legal or the illegal form of bribes. And certainly the Muslims don't worship some idol. And it's not about serving Muhammad. He, distributed his wealth quite a bit.